Hello and welcome to week 3 of Composition 1 Spring Late Online. This week we're starting on one of our major writing assignments, which is the critique, and we're doing this together as a class. The week is a little bit lighter. I have the web camera up so you can kind of see me and make a personal connection, but I'm going to disappear and focus primarily on the screen. So we have our task. We're reading two sections from our textbook, writing about text and drafting. So these links will take you there. There is a discussion board that'll be due Wednesday night, discussing our reading. Then we have our major portion of the assignment. We're reading the article or essay 2 Years Are Better Than 4 by Liz Addison. You can download the PDF or you can try the link, but the PDF might be good because the link is behind the New York Times paywall. You might be able to get it, you might not. It's good to see it in its original source. You will have a summary of the essay due by Thursday night. So first assignment is Wednesday, next is Thursday. Then we have a discussion board. It's a two-part discussion board. So first you will read and respond to Liz Addison's essay with these 6 questions. I end with the question, do you think it's a good essay? Because that's an important thing for us to look at this week. Start taking our impressions of something and our reactions and start looking at them a little more in depth and a different way of evaluating something. You will learn that Liz Addison's essay is responding to the essay, What's the Matter with College by Rick Perlstein. I posted a link to it right here, so you'll be able to read it, but I'm asking you to read this essay. Yeah, so 2 essays this week, and then answer these 4 questions. Basically, the idea is that Liz Addison is writing a critique of Rick Perlstein's essay, What's the Matter with College? And I want you to start thinking of this essay on 2 different levels. 1, as a standalone piece, 2 Years Are Better Than 4, and then 2, as a response. So how does it work once you've read what she's written about, once you've read the thing that she's responding to? Then I have a lesson on how we're going to critique 2 Years Are Better Than 4, which is going to be our major assignment. We're writing a critique about 2 Years Are Better Than 4. To do it, you're going to read the essay. I want you to consider a point, highlight any passage, then read the essay she's responding to, and then kind of put the 2 together. Does she do a good job? That's the main question. So there's a lesson on it, on how we're going to critique 2 Years Are Better Than 4. You can only view this lesson after you've completed this discussion board. So we have a summary that's due Thursday night. This is due in 2 parts. I think I also have it due Thursday night. So those things are due. Then we have our critique, which we'll work on the rest of the week. It's due Sunday night. We also have a reading assignment, how we use sources correctly, which will be important because we'll be moving to a research paper next. So that'll be good. So that's kind of where we are on this week. Make sure I see everything. Yeah, Thursday night, everything for Liz Addison's essay Thursday night. I do want to talk a little bit about critiquing. I have some video lessons that help us out, but talking about criticism. Criticism is something that we do all the time. We evaluate all the time. Do we like something? Do we dislike it? It doesn't matter if it's food. This is why I had you do the restaurant review. It's a good pre-writing exercise to help us start thinking critically. What makes something good? So if we think about how we evaluate something, we have to consider the criteria by which we are evaluating. You have to have a standard, right? So our textbook, our Little Seagull Handbook, which I'm back. We have right here, has in the very beginning, I hope I had you read this, and if not, you do want to read it, has the criteria listed for us for all types of writing, and we call it rhetorical context or academic context. And these contexts, I'm disappearing, are purpose, audience, genre, topic, stance and tone, and media and design. And you can apply these to just about anything. So let's look at McDonald's. We have restaurants. McDonald's and Olive Garden. We can do a fancy restaurant, but everybody knows Olive Garden. What is the purpose of McDonald's? They want to provide a fast, cheap meal that can be fun and interesting, right? Purpose of Olive Garden's a little bit different. It's an expensive meal we think of. It should be fun because maybe it's a date night and hey, what's going to happen, right? Maybe she likes the meal. Maybe he likes the meal. Yeah, right. You go to Olive Garden, it's serious stuff, right? Um, it might be impressive. You can, maybe, you're a little bit of Italian. There's a bad joke with a little Italian. Um, and then uh, you get impress people. You have full service meal. You get cloth napkins and real silverware, and nothing's disposable. All that sort of stuff. So it's good. Think about the audience. For people who are going to McDonald's, they might be traveling, right? People on vacation, might be people going on a lunch break, so they're working, or kids and parents, hey, special treat, right? Or just everyday meal, right? Uh, Breakfast, all that sort of stuff. For the audience of Olive Garden, it's a lot of families, couples on dates, right? And businesses, right, for lunch. So hey, let's go to Olive Garden, right? Business meetings. The genre of McDonald's is fast food. Simple enough. We all know what fast food is. It kind of created it. For Olive Garden, it's fancy sit-down dining. It's Italian. I guess I could put that in there too, but not too Italian to be foreign, right? It's American Italian. It's stuff that we know and recognize. They're not going to give you, um, usobuco, which is a veal shank, or things like that, um, that are going to be too strange. The topic, we'll look at, burgers, fries, nuggets, Happy Meals, things like that. The topic of Olive Garden, of course, is Italian food. Um, I forget their slogan, but it's taste of Italy or whatnot. So everything's going to be Italian. You're going to walk in, you're going to feel like you're in a Roman Colosseum or whatnot. They might have Italian themed stuff in the bathroom. They might have Italian words sprinkled all around. It's supposed to transport you to Italy, but not too much, right? Especially right now with Italy and the coronavirus. Stance and tone. It's fast, cheap, easy, familiar, and good for kids because they'll eat something, but not necessarily healthy, but they're getting healthier. So that's McDonald's for stance and tone of Olive Garden. It's uh, Italian food, but it's not pretentious Italian, right? It's easy to recognize. It's family friendly. It fills you up. Unlimited breadsticks, right? They just keep that coming. When you're here, your family. That's their thing, right? It's family. And meeting design, McDonald's is dine in, drive through to go, order at the counter, wait for food. It's not necessarily clean. You're not expecting 5-star service. You're just happy if your order is correct and hot. That's what you want. And then meeting design of Olive Garden. It's dine in. You're sitting down. You want full service. You want a nice, friendly waiter who maybe will slip you a number at the end, right? There's wine, there's dessert, there's cloth napkins. It's like hoity-toity. You feel like you're fancy and special, and it's not too expensive, and it's not going to be over $100, but you give a good tip and all that sort of stuff. So that is our basic criteria. But does McDonald's meet this? Does Olive Garden meet this? Probably not the waiter thing that's giving you the number, but all the other stuff, right? I'm trying to make a joke. I'm sorry. It's better in class. Um, anyway, so we can look at Liz Addison's essay the same way. And I'm giving away a lot of stuff, but we'll get there, right? So we look at what is that she's trying to do. She's entering a contest for the New York Times. She's supposed to write a response to this essay by Rick Perlstein and answer the question, does college still matter? There's two T's in matter. Who is her audience? It's a general audience. What is she doing? She's writing an opinion and a response. The topic's supposed to be college in America. The stance and tone can vary, and it's an essay, right? It's just a print piece. What does she actually write? She writes an opinion piece with a response, and her goal is to win this contest. We have to think about that as she is writing and as we're reading her work. Who's the audience? It's her judges, right? General readers are second. Consider the genre. It's an opinion response. Her topic, two-year colleges, is what she writes about, and why I deserve the award. Right? That's obviously what the topic and stance should be. Also, and she writes an opinionated, snarky piece that's dismissive of the author. It's informative and it's persuasive, but it's still an essay. So think about the criteria by which we are writing, and does the author or does whatever it is we're evaluating meet the criteria we have established? You did this for your restaurant review. Now you're just putting this together for your essay. So that's where we are moving towards. Hello, people. That was the Edison homepage. So that's this week. We're looking at evaluation because that's an important part, because we have to understand why we think things are good and why we think they are bad. I do have a whole bunch of information in our critique folder right here. It's full of lots of good stuff, so I have all the material that you need. You won't be able to see this because this is hidden, but this is the original assignment. Anyway, you don't need to worry about that. But I do have a lesson on how we critique it, which again is available only after you complete your discussion board. Then I have examples. Here's a critique that somebody wrote. Please feel free to look at this, and I have a video explaining it. Don't worry about this. This is our final exam. Then place for you to submit critique to your button for. Then finally, I have a little bit further explanation on understanding and establishing criteria. This is an older lesson, but it looks at a music video. It can be very helpful for you as well. But that is where we are for week 3. I hope it's not too much. I'll have responses to everything for week 2 shortly, within the next couple of days, if you are looking for that. Otherwise, please contact me with questions, and I will be happy to get back to you. Have a great week.